Wow, I look like a fucking ghost. It is the end of October, so anywho's hi, it is me and Becky. Thank you for stopping by. Today, let's talk about 10 books I want to read by the end of the year. These are books that I have to read for book club books. These are books that I've had on my radar and I just haven't got to yet. And they're just books that I just picked out at random. So the first two books that I definitely need to get read by the end of the year are two of my Black Hat Book Coven books. For November, it is The Sapling Cage. Can't remember the author, but this is Kristen's pick. And from what I can remember about it, it is a story about a trans witch. In this world, women are only witches, and this female main character was born a boy, and so it has a lot to do with discovering yourself, finding found family, and people who will accept you. That's all I remember about it. The other one is our December pick, which is Laura's pick, which is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. All I can remember about this is there is like a arranged marriage between a student and a professor of this academy because he needs her help to find a special tarot card or something like that. I don't know. I've heard mixed things about this, so, you know, we'll see how I like it. But those are the only two really strict books that I have to read by the end of the year. I have one arc that is due in February, and that is Agnes Ubert's Mystical Cat Cafe. I believe this is by the same author who wrote the Emily Wilde series, which I did not love. I did not know that at the time that I requested this arc. I just requested this arc based on the title alone. So we'll see how that pans out. But even though this isn't due until February, I would like to get this done by the end of the year just to get a head start on my 2026 arcs. Do I know anything about this book? I'm assuming there is a mystical cat cafe. That's all I know. I would also like to get read The Ashfire King by Chelsea Abdullah. I just finished rereading The Stardust Thief with my coven as well. It would be nice if everybody in the coven finished The Stardust Thief and liked it and wanted to continue on, so that way we could read this all together. But regardless, if anybody else wants to continue, I do have this second book and I would like to continue to see where it goes since it's fresh in my mind. This is a fantasy that is inspired by 1001 Nights, so it's got a lot of Arabic culture in it. And we're following a thief named Luli and a prince named Mazen who end up in situations with some jinn, hoping to get this read in November. Hopefully. I also want to get to Eldritch by Carrie Lake. This is the second book in her Eating Woods series, the first book being Anathema. I really loved the gothic fantasy romance that was Anathema. I loved the characters. I do have the audiobook on hold at my library that I'm waiting to get to so I can reread Anathema and then go into Eldritch. Because even though I'm pretty confident that I remember everything that happened in Anathema, that was about a 700-page book. And it's been since January or February, I believe, since I read it. And I just want to get a refresher on the story. This book is one that I have on my radar for a reason I can't remember. It's called Never the Roses. I haven't heard anybody talk about this book. I get the sense that it's a Beauty and the Beast reimagining somehow, but I don't know how. I remember reading the synopsis of this and I thought it was interesting, which is why I put it on hold at my library, but I cannot remember why it appealed to me. But I'm so close to getting the audiobook Hold from Libby, so this is definitely one that I want to get read by the end of the year and see what it's about, and hopefully I love it. All I know is it's a fantasy romance, I think. It could be paranormal. I'm not 100% sure. I also want to get read King of Envy by Anna Wong. This is the latest book release in her Kings of Sin series. I have listened to all of these books on audio. I can't remember who this is about. I see the characters in my head, but I cannot remember their names. But I think I have enjoyed this series much more than her Twisted series. A little bit more, even though Twisted Games is still my favorite book within Anna Wong's book series. I've liked the characters in this one much more consistently, so I am excited to read this one and see who it's about and the story that goes along with it. I think it's about one of the billionaires and a model I think. I also have the audiobook of Between Fear and Favor by Jess Wisecup. This is the third book in this fantasy romance series that revolves around an older female main character. I believe she's in her 30s. She has a daughter. Her daughter was kidnapped, and so she has to reach out to the prince, which was once her, you know, young love, to help her find her daughter. And then it just explodes into this much more detailed fantasy romance world that I really enjoyed reading. I don't know if this is the third and final book in this series or if there's going to be more, but this is one that I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get to by the end of the year, just because I think at this point I would have to go back and reread books 1 and 2 to catch up to what is going on, because it has been so long since I've read book 1 and 2. But I have it and I would like to get it read. Another audiobook that I got, The House Witch Book 2. So I read The House Witch last year, I believe, for the Black Hat Book Coven, and I really liked it. It followed a male witch that had some hearth and home magic, and I really liked the found family dynamic. I really liked the setting of it being in this like medieval castle, in his cooking element in the kitchen, and it was just a really great story that I enjoyed, and I would like to continue on with this series, and I have the audiobook for book 2 now, so I would like to make progress in it. And then the last book that I want to get read before the end of the year is just a random book that I have on my TBR shelf. As y'all know, if you don't know already, I'm trying to clear off my TBR shelf, or at least get it down to 3 shelves of books. I've been doing this with my Read or Reap series, which I will, you know, link this down below if you want to go watch me try and clear off my TBR shelf. But one of the books that I've had on there for a couple years now is Mutts and Mistletoe by Natalie Cox. It's a pretty short book. I believe this is a contemporary romance, and I would like to get this read in December, just to get it off my shelf, because it's been on my shelf for a couple of years now. Do I know anything about it? Of course I don't. All I know is it involves dogs around Christmas time. So why not add it onto this list just for the hell of it? So those were 10 books that I would like to get read before the end of 2025. We'll see how well this turns out, if I manage to get these 10 books read or not. But that's the hope, right? And that's really all I can go on is hope. Let me know down in the comments, have you read any of these books, or what is a book that you are hoping to get read by the end of the year? Just one. Give me one book that you're hoping to get read. But if you don't want to comment that, but would like to let me know that you made it to the end of this video, could you leave me a calendar emoji? And with that, thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, go out there and get some books read that you're hoping to get read by the end of the year. Bye!